We're at the Optica Global Photonics Economic Forum here in Malaga, and I'm talking to one of our members and also exhibitors at the event, GDSFACTORY, and their CEO, Troy Tamas. So, Troy, tell us a couple of words about GDSFACTORY. What do you do?
Okay, well, we started the project as an open source project more than 5 years ago. And we started it then because we felt like we were all in companies that were working on advanced technologies like quantum computing, like photonic biosensing. And the tools that we were using to design our chips felt like they were designed in a different era for a different set of problems, right? And they didn't quite meet our needs. And so it felt like to shape those tools and try to convince the vendors to make the tools meet our needs was taking so much effort that maybe it was worth it just to make our own tool and make it open source. Not so that it just met our needs, but the needs of others, other researchers and engineers around the world as well. And so I'm happy to report that after 5 years of that, there's more than 70 contributors around the world, more than 2 million downloads. I think it's one of the most widely used open source tools for chip design. But then the problem there is that a lot of companies out there, they're using this tool for very expensive chips, right? And so when they're in crunch time, they want someone that they can lean on, right? And so we're here now as a company to provide professional support for that, and also advanced tools and services based on a lot what we've been doing at top companies around the world. And notice that we're kind of reinventing the wheel in each of those organizations, right? And so why can't we invent one new wheel that we can use at all the other organizations around the world to accelerate progress of the industry as a whole?
What do you think your solution adds to the ecosystems of the pick and chip development?
Sure. So I think that our tool is built on a modern software stack. I think it is going to be more accessible to especially people coming in the younger generation who are already used to using Python. It's very easy to jump into our tool. And we lean on all the advancements that have been made over the past decades in software development, right? And try to make the hardware development process more efficient. Right? So I think trying to bridge the gap between these two worlds and make a collaborative future there.
At this forum, we have quite a few companies and representing big companies, small companies. Whom did you talk to? What is your customer? Whom would you like to talk to?
We like to talk to everyone, but at this point, we're hoping to get a few lead customers. So maybe mid to large companies, but we're also there to serve small companies as well. And we'd love to figure out how we can collaborate better with the universities as well. I think there's a lot of interest and a lot of users out there and contributors in the university system already. So how can we, as a company now, provide more services to the universities to accelerate the research and development? We'd love to address that as well.
And where are you based?
We're based in Los Altos, California.
Okay. Do you have a connection to some of the alma maters in California?
No, so I'm actually from MIT. Our members from around the world, from Ghent University in Belgium, from Spain. So the main business model is subscription software. So we're selling these enhanced tools as a subscription.
There is always a little bit of the tricky question, because as soon as you can get something for free, it's very difficult to convince people to buy the product if they already used it for free. What are the special features that you can add to the professional version to enhance performance and really convince your customers that it's worth it?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think a lot of the confusion around once we started the company, people have been concerned, is the open source product not going to be open source anymore? And that's absolutely not the case. I mean, we plan to keep the core open source forever. We believe strongly, philosophically in the merit of that. Right, but I think there's a lot of other tools that don't need to be open source, right? I mean, we're trying to get rid of the grunt work, make the kind of a lot of this IT work, making your development environment nicer. Something that's not really critical to your core business, designing your geometries. That's for the open source tool. If researchers need to touch that, they can. But we make a development environment that makes it more streamlined. So maybe I already mentioned that our tool is great if you're already a Python user, but maybe you're not. There's a lot of people who aren't, right? So adding the capability to point and click, drag components, create a schematic. We even have a ChatGPT integration, so you can create a first draft of your circuit automatically. We're also providing services like DRC on the cloud, so design checking on the cloud, simulation, and then also data validation. So we have a way for you to organize your data analyses to close the design loop.
Okay, thank you.